I'm so excited about this story. Ladies and gentlemen, I really need you guys to help me. Please help me, help my market, because I need a change of life. I'm feeling like I may be in the wrong profession. Guys, I'm looking for somebody that can teach me coding. Benny, I'm not even ashamed to ask. Did you guys hear about that 16-year-old guy, John Oseni, who's now making millions of naira by coding? I said, Jesus is Lord. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the age of technology. As in, a lot of African parents still think that their child should become a doctor or an engineer. My people, technology, Lola, as in, tech is the way to go now. And I'm not saying that you should force your children to go into tech. No. All I'm trying to say is that you should allow them to do whatever it is that they have passion for, even if they say they just want to sit in front of the computer all day typing and coding, you know. So being a doctor or a nurse or an engineer is not the only way to go. Punch newspaper in Nigeria interviewed this guy, and they asked him to define coding for a layman to understand, and he said that it's just like talking to a computer and creating apps for people to solve problems. I was like, damn, he got it so right. In other words, when you learn how to code, you can literally apply it to different aspects of life in solving problems. He started out volunteering at a computer lab at the age of 14, running errands for them, cleaning for them, so long as they allowed him to use their computer to practice coding. And guess what? Today he's so good at it that he has worked for more than 16 different startups. Now he's making millions of naira. He didn't say exactly how much he has made, but he told Punch newspaper that he has made more than 10 million naira between last year and now. I was like, what? I'm in the wrong profession. You see? He said one of the transactions he did that they paid him 5 million naira just like that. I was like, wow, how much is the minimum wage again? 30,000 naira. You see your life. He's also getting paid in crypto. And then on top of that, he's now working for 2 different Italian companies. That is Fly Wallet as well as Crypto Night. You can check them out. So he's just getting started new. Those ones, they invited him to come to Italy to meet the team. He said no, that he's busy coding in Nigeria. He's based in Nigeria and he's working for these 2 Italian companies. Getting paid in Europe. The boy is even yet to go to university. He's 16. He just finished secondary school. By the way, at the beginning, he said that his parents thought that he was possessed because he was always in front of the computer coding. They didn't understand what he was doing. In fact, during his WAEC, they seized his laptop so he could concentrate, but Oboy went and bought another laptop without them knowing. He continued coding while he was writing WAEC, and he did really well in his WAEC. He got 8 A's and 1 B. The B is in technical drawing. He said he doesn't like it anyway. But he's not the only one. I'm sure you guys have seen so many stories of young people, not just in Nigeria, but in Ghana, in South Africa, in Kenya, in different parts of Africa that are doing amazing things now by coding. This girl is based in South Africa. She's a YouTuber. You guys can follow her. I'll put a link to her video in the description below. She got into coding and now she's a full-time developer.
I was in grade 9 at this time, so I was about 15 years old. Yeah, I was 15 in grade 9 when I started coding 2014. I downloaded some apps from Play Store on how to code, and I just learned HTML and CSS. And then somewhere along the way, I learned about game development. And I was like, this is it. And I'm sure you guys have also seen this young Ghanaian web developer. I mean, these people are making waves.
My name is Dancy Jeffet, and then I'm in JHS. I'm 14 years. I attend Marinda School. So I'm much more into like programming stuff and specifically web development, as you already said.
Thank you so much. This girl, when she was 14 in 2018, her name is Tomisin. She was able to build an app that helps kids that are lost to be able to find their way home, or for them to be able to click for help on their cell phone. I mean, that's solving problems. We can go on and on. Kids in different parts of Africa. And by the way, you don't have to come from a rich home.
At this primary school in Kibera, a slum in the Kenyan capital, girls are preparing themselves for a future in IT. Kibera is the largest slum in Kenya. For Kibera Girls' School head teacher, the after-school computer club is a way to keep pupils out of harm's way.
I'm sure you guys have also seen the story of another 16-year-old girl, Odunayo Ajayi. As of 2 years ago, this girl has designed more than 15 websites for people, and she was getting paid. Now, the people teaching her said that she's able to make more than a graduate in Nigeria would make.
Anyone who wants to secure a future that you don't want to finish school and be looking for work, right now, although he's very young, but if I can tell you that if she should be employed now, she will be earning as much as 200 to 50 with what she knows.
Now, the reason I love her story. Once again, it's because of her background. I love it so much. It doesn't matter where you are from, so long as you use your brain, you can become whatever you want to be. Adeola has gotten so many awards from coding.
She won the Best Developer of the Year 2019, an award from Union Bank.
Okay. She learned coding from Pearls Africa. You guys will remember Pearls Africa Foundation that was founded by a CNN hero, that is Abisoye Ajayi Akinfola. This auntie that founded that foundation is changing lives. I'm just trying to say that if your kid is just sitting at home after school or during the holidays, get them into coding. Let them learn the language of computer. Let them be able to talk to computer talk back to them. They didn't have to be from a rich home. Adeola's mom was selling ice cream as of 2 years ago when this video came out. I don't know if she's still doing that or not.
Because my mom she's a trader. She sells ice cream, sachet ice cream for students.
But according to Adeola, she grew up in a neighborhood that doesn't encourage dreaming big or becoming somebody big. According to her, she said there were a lot of prostitutes in her neighborhood when she was growing up.
Prostitutes, there are men in our house. People will tell my mom that when are you going to relocate to another area, because this area is not good for people, we young girls growing up in that area, because it's not good.
But today, because she learned how to code, I literally changed her life.
Trying to young girls to be determined, because determination leads to success. Without me being determined, I can't get to where I am today. So they should determine and focus on what they are planning to do, or what problem they are trying to solve, because they can use coding to solve problems.
See how fluent and eloquent she is? She said all that came when she started learning how to code. So we are so proud of all these young people. Only God knows what they would achieve in the future. None of them is a doctor or nurse or engineer. I'm just saying, computer can change your life. You know, people like Elon Musk, they used coding to get to where they are today. People like Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple. Many of you are carrying Apple phone around today. You don't know it was through coding that he became who he became. You don't even ask yourself, how can I become another Steve Jobs? It's by coding. And then, of course, talking about this story today is an excuse for me to remind you of iCodeEDU.com. You guys make sure you check them out. The link is in the description below. This is a coding school owned by 2 Cameroonian brothers here in the US that I know personally. I've talked about them before on this show, and I'm reminding you one more time. They're starting a new coding session next week, by the way, and they're taking kids from different parts of the world. They're doing one-on-one coding lessons with kids ages 7 to 18. And all these teachers, all the instructors are from top U.S. universities like MIT, Yale, and Stanford University. So if you're interested, I'll put the link to that in the description below. By the way, if you tell them that you're coming from me, you get a free coding lesson. So the first lesson, which is a trial, would be free for anybody that comes from me, and then you can decide whether or not you want your kids to sign up for that. It is $250, but they do have limited spots, so because it's one-on-one with the instructors. So please, if you're interested, do not delay. Contact them. The link is in the description. Also, as summer is coming, if you're an African parent based in the US and you want summer tutoring for your kids, last year I showed you guys about Frog Tutoring Summer Camp. So many media companies have done stories about this company owned by an African that is based in Texas, and so they are very credible, and last year I talked about them. As a matter of fact, when I talked about them last year, some of the African parents that enrolled their kids talked about their experience with them. So they are getting ready for this summer as well. If anybody is interested, please check them out. I'll also put the link to their website in the description. Anybody that signs up for this summer tutoring camp, by the way, would be getting a free copy of this ebook, which I'm sure you guys will be excited to get for your kids. The title of this book is Hacking College Admissions. This book was co-written by Victor Agbafe as well as Harold Eke. These are 2 inspiring Nigerian students here in the US who got accepted into all 8 Ivy League schools, as in all the Ivy League schools and some other schools as well. Gave them admission with full scholarship up to $4 million combined. Both of them got up to $4 million in scholarship, so they must have done something right. So if you're interested in getting this book for free, sign your child up for the summer tutoring camp, and then they can know how to hack college admission and how to get into college. It doesn't even have to be, Ivy League schools, but how to get into college and not have to pay tuition so that you, the parents, so you can rest. In this America, is not about knowing people. Back home, they will say, you must know somebody, you will be visiting people, school just so you can get admission and like. Here, so long as your child has the brain and knows what to do, you will get into college here. So I'll put both links in the description below. So please guys, check them out. So in the meantime though, John Oseni, our software developer, says that his parents no longer allow him to travel by road in Nigeria. Now he flies everywhere. As levels, you can find him on Instagram. We're so proud of him. We're so proud of all the other ones that I also featured as well in this story. Africa has huge potential, guys. Like when I see stories like this, I'm really excited. I'm really happy with the future of Africans. We just need the right government. It's so sad that our government is the one that is giving us bad rapport. When you think about what these young people are doing, you feel there is hope for the future of Africa. So we're so proud of all of them. You guys know I don't know much. Guess what? I'm just keeping it real.